Northern Virginia just added over 35,000 new residents in a single year. That's the biggest jump that we've seen in almost a decade. And I'll be real with you, after almost 10 years of selling homes here, I've never seen anything like this. With $24 billion going into data centers and huge projects breaking ground right now, some neighborhoods are going to look completely different in the next 5 years. The thing is, the best chances are in a few specific spots. And if you don't get the timing right, you could miss out. Okay, where's all that growth showing up first? Out in western Loudoun County, the landscape is changing fast. What used to be wide open countryside is now turning into Northern Virginia's next big luxury spot, with amenities that you won't see anywhere else. So what does $24 billion in data centers really mean for buyers? Honestly, it's unlike anything we've seen in this region. Take the Village at Clear Springs. It's the biggest master plan community in all of Northern Virginia. Hines, DRB Group, and NVR are building over 1,000 homes through 2030. But this isn't some cookie cutter suburb. The game changer here is the USTA Mid-Atlantic facility, bringing more than 40 tennis and pickleball courts. No other community around here can match that mix of new homes and world-class sports. And the best part is that these Ashburn perks, they're not just nice for the price. They're on the same level as communities most people think are way out of reach. Stick around because I'm going to show you what I mean in just a bit. The data centers are driving it all. They fuel 74,000 jobs statewide and pump $9.1 billion into Virginia's economy every single year. That demand shows up right here in Clear Springs and the surrounding neighborhoods. And hey, if you want to stay in the loop on everything happening here in the greater DC area, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Every week I share new videos on luxury homes, hidden neighborhood gems, and quick market updates. It's the easiest way to stay ahead whether you're buying, selling, or you're just curious about what's next. So tap that subscribe button and let's go over this greater DC market together. All right, let's dive back in. Down the road, Brambleton is wrapping up its final phases. The 40,000 square foot library there is a showpiece, and homes are running from 800,000 to 1.4 million and up. And then there's One Loudoun. They're adding 400 apartments plus plans for another 1,700 units with retail on the ground floor. It's a walkable blend of suburb and city life. But here's what most agents won't tell you. The real question is whether the roads and the transit can handle what's coming. And that's where this ties into the massive transportation projects we're going to get into now, bringing us straight into Reston and Herndon, where the Silver Line has already changed the game for homebuyers. Now, the big move west was the Silver Line Phase 2 extension. This new line was a $6 billion project that's creating a whole new type of real estate. And you can already see it in the prices since its completion. Take Reston Town Center next. It's got over 2.5 million square feet coming, and it's certified LEED Gold, meaning that it's healthy, efficient, and cost-effective. Homes here run from about 600,000 to 1.2 million. In the metro, it's only a tenth of a mile away. That's pretty much right at your front door. Next door is Reston Town Center North. This year, it got the green light for 1.6 million square feet of mixed-use space. And the big draw is the new 40,000 square foot Reston Regional Library anchoring the entire community. These projects are setting a new bar for walkable living in Northern Virginia. But wait until you see the community coming up later with walk scores in the 90s. Right in between is Reston Gateway. It covers 33 acres between the metro and the town center, with 4.8 million square feet of mixed use. Phase 1 is wrapping up right now. Once it's done, you'll have a smooth connection from transit straight into shops and restaurants. Here's the eye-opener. Homes within 0.2 miles of a metro stop are going for 20 to 30% more. The closer you are to the rail, the bigger the bump. And trust me, walkability matters more than you think. Reston Town Center has a walk score of 69, making it one of the most walkable spots in Northern Virginia. That number shows up in daily life, every errand, every coffee run. It just makes it all a lot easier. But here's a twist. Even for me as a local agent, what happens when thousands of new units hit the market all at once? That's the bigger story behind today's prices, and it sets up the perfect contrast with our next stop, boutique infill projects, where it's all about scarcity, not scale. Okay, let's explore why small, high-end projects in Vienna and Falls Church are getting so much attention. Land is scarce, schools are top-notch, and even with higher prices, buyers see the value. Most people watch the big developments, but some of the smartest money is chasing these smaller infill projects. Take the West Falls development. It's the gateway to Falls Church with 647 units planned. Phase 2 hits later this year. Condos will run from 400,000 to 800,000, and single-family homes are going to run from 600,000 to 1.2 million. Schools play a huge role. Fairfax County ranks number 6 in the nation, and Falls Church City Schools are number 1 in Virginia collectively. Families know those numbers, and demand stays strong. Later, when we look at Northern Virginia's growth, you're going to see the contrast. Places with no room to grow frequently rise steadier than areas still adding land and supply. Now, check this. Falls Church median price just hit $950,000, which is up 5% in a year. The average time on market is about 2 months. That's solid demand, even at the higher end. Vienna tells the same story. Land is tight. Even modest single-family homes inside town limits start around 1.15 million. And the Vienna address, it carries a premium, and that premium keeps climbing. What makes these boutique projects special is the mix. You get the character of an older neighborhood, mature trees, real community, paired with the perks of new construction. Now, real talk, don't write these spots off as too expensive. Stick with me because I've got a value comparison coming up in a moment. And speaking of value, let's check on what's going on over in Arlington. It might be the most creative real estate trend in the entire region. All right, this is where things get really interesting. The county is flipping old office space into new homes, and it's happening in some of the most walkable neighborhoods in the entire country. Closer to DC, Arlington is leading the biggest office to residential shift on the entire East Coast. And the thing is, these aren't small side projects. We're talking about hundreds of new homes popping up in places where most people thought that were already built out. Take Crystal City. JBG Smith kicks off construction later this year at 2100 Crystal Drive. They're putting up a 344-room, dual-branded hotel. And right next door at 2200 Crystal Drive, they're turning office space into 195 apartments. Head over to Virginia Square. Gilbane Development is taking 3601 Wilson Boulevard, that's more than 119,000 square feet, and converting it into 94 apartments plus retail on the entire first floor. These projects, they create a sweet spot. You get the walkability that buyers want without the sky-high land costs of building something brand new. In the courthouse, Quadrangle Development is converting 1320 North Courthouse Road into 295 apartments. That's one of the biggest single building conversions that Arlington has ever seen. And it deserves a closer look because these projects drop Arlington's office vacancy from 23.5% down to about 22%. So you're helping the housing market and the commercial side all at the same time. Now let's talk walkability because Roslyn pulls a walk score of 94. That's walker's paradise status. Ballston comes in at 93. Numbers like that put Arlington among the most walkable places on the entire East Coast. So yeah, this trend is a win-win for both developers and buyers, but honestly, the conversions aren't the most exciting part. What really matters is what this move says about Arlington's long-term vision. And if you're curious about the luxury side of things, up next we're diving into a market that plays by a completely different set of rules. Now we're stepping into a market where the ultra-wealthy play by their own rules. Out here, land can matter more than the house sitting on it. And international buyers bring in dynamics that you just don't see anywhere else in Northern Virginia. McLean and Great Falls are the best examples of this. Picture this, a $14 million sale where the house is torn down and the land is the real price. Here's what the numbers show. McLean's average home value is now $1.43 million, up 4.4% in the past year. Great Falls comes in at $1.67 million, up 4.1%. That's steady demand at the very top. Zoom in on McLean's 22101 zip code. In quarter 2 of 2025, it had 45 luxury sales, making up 38% of all sales in the area. That's a lot of high-end activity in one pocket. This zip code is extremely sought after and tough to break into. Just this past spring, I helped a buyer who I happily now call a friend and his entire family move here internationally, and we took a look at many of the areas that I showcase on this channel. We landed in 22101, finding a beautiful new build for just under $9 million. They found me right here on YouTube as well, so make sure to reach out if any of you have questions about this segment of the market. Now, what stands out after all of that is that even when the wider market shifts, McLean and Great Falls stay strong. Part of that connects to the big infrastructure projects that we'll talk about soon. New investments designed to keep Northern Virginia moving. Just this May, Stratford House on Crest Lane sold for over $14 million. That was the highest priced home sale in all of Northern Virginia for the second quarter, and it set a new bar for the ultra luxury market. This segment breaks down into 3 tiers. Ultra luxury, which is $5 million and up, with very little inventory and a lot of international buyers. High-end luxury, which is $2 million to $5 million, which has been performing steadily, and luxury, which is $1 million to $2 million. This usually sells the fastest because there's more buyers in this price point. International buyers are a big piece of this. Many are here because of DC's diplomatic world or global companies, the school systems. A lot of them pay cash and see Northern Virginia real estate as a safer bet. What really surprised me is how this market kept moving while other luxury areas slowed down. And the reason why might surprise you too. But before we wrap up, there's one last factor tying all these categories together: the massive infrastructure projects that will shape Northern Virginia's growth for the next decade. So yeah, Nova is in the middle of the biggest infrastructure push since the original metro system, and it's happening at the perfect time. 5 years from now, more than 3.4 million people will call this region home. That's over a third of Virginia's population and an 11% jump from 2020. More people moving in means steady demand for homes across every price point. To handle that growth, the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority has a $696 million plan running through 2029. That money goes into 24 different projects designed to make it easier to get around. The job picture is just as strong. Right now, there are 130,000 open jobs and 80% are in high-paying tech fields. fields. Amazon HQ2 alone is bringing 25,000 more jobs by 2030. All of that drives long-term demand for housing. The project timeline is already lined up. I-495 Express Lanes, Northern Extension in 2026. Landmark Mall's new Inova Hospital campus in 2028. Courts District in Prince William County is kicking off in 2027. Market experts expect home price growth to settle into a steady 2 to 2.5% growth. Inventory is finally rebalancing from record lows, which gives buyers more choices if they know how to read the market. Okay, we've covered 6 major development categories, more than $10 billion in projects, from data center driven communities in Ashburn and Leesburg, to transit growth in Reston and Herndon, boutique infill in Vienna and Falls Church, office conversions in Arlington, ultra luxury enclaves in McLean and Great Falls, and finally, the infrastructure tying it all together. So what does that mean for you? If you're thinking about buying or selling in Northern Virginia, now's the time to get ahead. Send me an email at rickhartunian@gmail.com. Don't wait until these projects are finished and prices start to climb. The smart money is already moving and you don't want to miss your window. And if you guys are curious about where real luxury lives in Northern Virginia, check out my video on McLean. You'll see inside gated communities, tour neighborhoods where the average income tops $300,000, and find out why so many powerful people call this area home. Go ahead and click the video on your screen now to get the inside scoop on Northern Virginia's most exclusive address. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.